All right. Good morning and welcome to writing. Okay. So I know this is a little weird, but this is the best way I can think of for me to write and talk to you and for you guys to see my thinking process when I create our planning page. So some of you might have already started, some of you might have been waiting for me. Either one is okay. So what you need is I've printed out a copy. You don't have to print it out. I just did because I wanted to show you guys. You need your copy of Excerpt from Double Dutch, a celebration of jump rope, rhyme, and sisterhood. And what I did is all the notes that we had made on my copy on the computer, I just put onto this paper copy. So I have our story about Double Dutch. I have excerpt from It's Our World Too, with all of our highlighting and our notes. And then I have our planning page. So this is what we're working on today. I'm going to turn my planning page over just so that I have a full sheet of paper to work with. I think that will work better for some of us. The first thing we know that I like to do when writing my planning page is I like to write raps. Restate, answer, prove it once, prove it twice, sum it up. Some of you forget to restate. So I like to remind you up there on the top to restate. And then what I like to do is I like to read my essay questions. And I like to write them up on the top of the page, just so that I don't have to keep switching back and forth between papers and I don't get lost. So our questions are to describe the problem that each young person faces, explain both similarities and differences, and use details to support. Okay, so I have a problem. So they're looking for the problem faced by each character. They want similarities. They want differences. Okay. They want similarities, they want differences, and they want details from both stories. Okay. Here we go. So the first thing I like to do is I'm going to make myself a T-chart. I have my character Tahira from our Double Dutch story. And we have Justin from It's Our World. And the first thing I have to do is come up with the problem that are faced by each character. So what's Tahira's problem and what's Justin's problem? So think about it. What's Tahira's problem? What's Justin's problem? So I'm going to look back into Tahira's story. I'm going to look at some of the things that we underlined. Okay, so there's a poster contest, and the third grader, her biggest problem was that she didn't have anyone to turn Double Dutch for her when she came home from school. So we had written invention, and that she came up with the idea for the machine that would turn the ropes for you. Okay, so this can't possibly be her problem because she solved that problem. So So let's keep reading. Here we have 10 years later. She's studying mechanical engineering and was presented with an inventing problem. Ooh, this might be the problem. Her professor asked her to draw up plans for a machine that challenged the limits of sports. I think we just found Tahira's problem. Tahira's problem is creating an invention. She wants to create an invention that challenged the limits of sports. Okay. We've got Tahira's problem. Now let's find Justin's problem. Okay. He finds an old bike. He paints it up. He buys it for $650. His hobby is bike racing. It's a passion he shares with his father. Their garage is more like a bike shop. They adjust everything. Justin's learned to handle almost all his repairs. And if he can't, he goes to Dad. And if Dad doesn't know, he goes to Mel, the bike shop owner. Okay, so they paint it. They put a new seat on it. They fix the grips. And then he realizes that what he loves about old bikes is making something useful and new out of something old and broken. So I'm having a hard time finding Justin's problem. He goes to the home for boys, that they'd be thrilled to get new bikes. Justin explains that the bikes were for them to keep. They were so happy. It was like they couldn't believe it. It made me feel good just to see them happy. So then we have Justin sitting here. How would all those kids decide who gets the bikes? 2 bikes would cause more problems. Mom, I've got an idea. I'm going to make a bike for every boy at Kilbertson. He seemed so determined. And when they got home, Justin called to find out how many boys were there, and he has 6 months to make 19 bikes, almost a bike a week. Ooh, I think we just found Justin's problem. Look, it took us reading through the whole story to find Justin's problem. Don't give up if you can't find it immediately. It took us all the way till paragraph 14 to find the problem for this story. Justin needs to fix up 21 bikes. Before the holidays. For the boys. At Kilbertson. Kilbarchan. Home for boys. It's like an orphanage. Okay. So now we've got our problem. Tahira's got a problem creating an invention that's going to challenge the limits of sports. Justin's got a problem that he has to fix up 21 bikes before Christmas. Okay. What is similar and what is different about these 2 problems? So we have our problem. Keep it going. What is similar? What's similar about these problems? Let's go back in the story and look. Justin's problem is that he has to make 19 bikes in 6 months. Okay? Tahira's problem is that she is presented with an inventing problem, that she has to draw up plans for a machine that challenge the limits of sports. So let's see how both of these kids fix their problem or attack their problem or try to solve their problem and see if there's any similarities in that. So Tahira, let's see, she keeps thinking about traditional games. With fellow students, she invents the automatic double Dutch machine, the real life embodiment of her third grade dream. Okay, so she has help. The fellow students help her. Is there anybody that helps Justin? Does anybody remember people helping Justin? Let's look back in the story. Looking. Let's see. I'm looking in paragraph 4. Oh, here, look, paragraph 5. After every race, Justin and his father would adjust the brakes, realign the wheels. It was a lot of work. He had learned to handle almost every repair his father could, and maybe even a few things he couldn't. And when Justin would get really stuck, he'd go to Mel. Okay, so Justin has his father helping him. And if him and his father even get stuck, he has Mel helping him. So let's go back to our planning page. So if Tahira has a problem and she's asking her students to help her, and Justin has a problem and he's asking his father or Mel to help him, what can we say is similar about the way that Tahira and Justin are both handling their problem? Think about it for a second. Pause the video and then come back. Okay. What did you come up with that's similar? I came up with that they both asked for help from others. Others meaning Tahira's students, or in Justin's case, his father and Mel. Others. They both asked for help from others in order to achieve their goals. Okay? Great job. Now, so we got our problem, we got our similarities. Now let's find our differences. Okay. How is the situation different for Tahira and different for Justin? Let's find those differences. Okay. So let's think about Tahira. She's creating this invention with her students. She has an engine that turns the ropes, and although it took a year to get the machine to actually work, Tahira got an A in the course. Okay, so Tahira's invention, while she had the help of her students and she knew what she wanted to do, it took more than a year to get the machine to actually work. That's crazy. It took a whole year for this invention to work. And that makes me think of something. Oh my gosh. Let's look back in Justin's story. I think I found a difference. How long is it going to take Justin to do his 19 bikes? He doesn't have as much time as Tahira. He has only 6 months to make 19 bikes because he has to make them before the holidays. Oh, I think we just found our differences. Tahira, it took a whole year for her invention to work. For Justin, he only has 6 months, half the time Tahira does, to get his problem solved. So here we go. Here's our differences. Tahira, it took more than a full year to get the machine to work. And I'm going to write paragraph 4 because that's where we found that information. Paragraph 4. The difference with Justin is that he needs about a week to fix the first bike. And now he has 6 months for 19 more bikes. That is a crazy S. More bikes. So that little squiggly is a math sign, means about. So that's about 1 bike per week for Justin. Okay. So, did we find the problem faced by each character? Yes. Did we find the similarity that each character has? Yes. Did we find the 2 differences? Yes. Did we use details from both stories? So we have this detail from paragraph 4, and we have this detail from paragraph 14. Okay, we've answered everything we need to answer on our planning sheet. So here it is. If you need it, you can pause the video and you can read it to yourselves, copy it down, help yourself really dive into it. And what you are going to do is you're going to take your wonderful planning page and you're going to look at your essay page. Bum, bum, bum. You're going to read the question to yourself. Both excerpt from Double Dutch, a celebration of jump rope, rhyme, and sisterhood, and excerpt from It's Our World Too are about a young person's solution to a problem. Describe a problem each one faces. How are the ways they solve the problem similar and different? Use details from both articles. Okay. What you're going to use is this wonderful planning page that we just put together, that we worked really, really hard on. And you are going to write your introduction, and the beginning of your body. So you're going to write your introduction paragraph and that first body paragraph talking about the problems faced. That's all you have to do. Do not write the whole essay. I only want your introduction and your first body paragraph. And we'll discuss this tonight on Zoom and we'll clear up any confusion that you have. So one last time, I'll put the planning page up so that you have a view of it. You can pause the screen and copy it down, and we'll talk tonight. Okay, bye guys. See you soon.